Hi everyone, Edie Summers here. Let's do some yoga. I'm going to keep it more on the mellow side, but feel free to add or subtract whatever you like. You could grab a block, a yoga mat. Instead of a block, you could use a water bottle. And let's get started. So go ahead and find a place on your mat and come into Tadasana. Just lengthen through your spine here. Let your breath settle. Maybe take a few rounds of deep breaths, starting from your belly. Kind of letting your mind clear here. Settling into your mat. Maybe even breathe with your whole body. Inhale, float up. And exhale, float down. Starting to deepen your breaths here. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, float down. Inhale, float up. Maybe open to one side. Exhale. Head back to the center. Inhale, float up. On your exhale, turn to the other side. Kind of wake up your spine here too, along with your breath. Maybe bring hands to heart center. Exhale. Samastiti. Just setting an intention for your practice. Really grounding through your feet here. Lengthening more through your spine. Finding yourself more and more present here. Arms float down to either side. Just bring your feet underneath your hips here. Keep your knees soft. Let's just sway arms side to side, maybe even tap your lower back. This is a little bit of Qigong. Energy yoga. Let's do a little bit more. So kind of bend your knees here and palms are facing up. Inhale. Imagine you're lifting something up and then straighten up. Turn your palms to the face up to the sky and then stretch as you open to either side. Bend your knees, arms float down, palms face up. Inhale, start to rise up. Turn your palms so they're facing up. Feel that nice stretch. And then open arms back to either side. And again, let your arms float down here. And again, maybe soften knees, sway arms side to side. You can even tap your lower back. Wake up your energy. Feel free to keep going there, or you can settle back into the center. Walk your feet back together and maybe just kind of shake out arms. You can even do some shoulder shrugs, going either direction, front to back or back to front. Even drawing shoulders up toward your ears and then let them float down. Just kind of feel that stretch in your shoulders. Again, feel free to shake out arms here too. Doing anything at all that helps you settle in more. And let's do some sun salutations. So you can do full sun salutations or you can do modified ones. I'll show you modified first. You want to be at the top of your mat here. I'm going to face this way. You're in Tadasana. Feet are closer together. Arms are floating open to either side. Inhale, arms float up, reach high to the sky. And then on an exhale, start to roll down through your spine one vertebra at a time. Just wake up your spine here. Let's stay down here for a little bit. Walk your feet back underneath your hips. So you could even sway side to side here. Or maybe you hold on to opposite arms and sway side to side. Feel free to use your block here as well if you want to be up a little bit higher. Or your water bottle. Really let your head float down here. And you can settle back into the center here. Just take your time, really breathing into your spine. Let your hands float back down to your mat here. And then let's just toe heel our feet so they come back together. Knees are soft. And belly to spine here. And just roll up. One vertebra at a time. Just kind of a modified sun salutation there. Maybe roll shoulders up toward your ears and then draw them down your back. Draw your shoulder blades together. Tadasana. So feel free to continue doing that modified version where you just reach arms up to the sky, inhale, and then exhale, roll down through your spine, maybe stay down there a little bit and breathe into your spine. You can even do a halfway lift where you rise up and place hands on your block or shins or upper thighs here. You want weight on the front of your feet when you're doing your halfway lift here. Kind of resetting your spine here in your halfway lift. And then again, if you're doing the modified version of sun salutations, float back down to your mat and then just roll up slowly here. One vertebra at a time. So again, feel free to do a few more of those. If you want to follow me through a full sun salutation, I'll meet you back in Tadasana either way here. I'm kind of hitting this wall a little bit, but that's okay. Let's arms reach high to the sky here. Inhale. You can even look up to the sky a little bit. Creates a little bit of a back bend there. And then exhale. Roll down through your spine. Let's do our halfway lift here. Take an inhale. Rise up and just hold here. Again, spend a few breath cycles here. You want to lift through your heart. Inhale. Exhale. Really taking your time warming up here. Really feel yourself settling into your body and breath here. And then float back down. So again, feel free to just roll right back up there, or you can follow me. You can bend your knees and place your hands on your mat. And just step your feet back. Let's come into, actually let's start in downward dog. So you want to send your hips high to the sky here. And wrists are underneath your shoulders, feet are underneath your hips. You can even walk the dog, where you're stretching through one heel and the other, or just stay in the center. You want to press back through your hands. Do you feel a nice stretch in your spine here? Now let's build up to this full sun salutation. So first, from here, again, we're still kind of doing a modified version. Just bend your knees and look forward, and you can walk or jump your feet up to your hands, forward fold. We're going to do another halfway lift here. Rise up. Lift through your heart. Inhale. Taking your time here and exhale, float back down. Maybe bring nose to knees or even give yourself a hug. Wrap arms behind hamstrings. So you're really getting a deeper stretch in your hamstrings. Really taking your time. Let your hands float back down to your mat here. And let's just roll up one vertebra at a time. So this isn't super gentle yoga, but it's also, we're not doing it super intense. Again, feel free to modify. We're back here in Tadasana. So that was still somewhat of a modified sun salutation. Again, you could do that. You could do your mountain inhale, exhale, forward fold. You do your halfway lift. Again, you can keep your hands on your shins or upper thighs or your block, or maybe over time you tent through your hands. You can keep and rest your fingertips on your mat and just lift through your head and heart here. That could be your halfway lift too. Forward fold. Again, feel free to roll back up there, or maybe you head back into downward dog, or you can follow me and come into plank. So you want to draw your belly toward your spine here. You can also drop down onto your knees, coming into a modified plank. Just keep your wrists underneath your shoulders, nice engaged core here. We're going to head down to the mat. So as an alternate, you could head back to the downward dog. You could just go right back to downward dog here and hold. This is a nice kind of active resting pose. Or if you want to follow me from plank first, doing our full sun salutation here and vinyasa. Here from plank, lower yourself down to your mat. And first just rest your toes on your mat. Maybe walk hands underneath your head here. Rest your whole body on your mat. Just kind of breathe into your spine. Maybe turn your head over to the right and feel that stretch in your neck here, and then place your forehead on your hands. You could turn your head the other direction, look to the left. Back to the center. Now walk your hands underneath your shoulders here. Let's try a cobra or even a baby cobra. Take an inhale here, and then on an exhale, just lift through your heart here. So just find your range of motion. Yeah, good job there. Now you can keep pressing up through your hands. You could go to full plank there, or maybe you're in a modified plank. Now from here, tuck your toes under, come to downward dog. Finding your breath here, maybe walk the dog. You really want to press back through your hands. You can also settle back into the center. Send your hips high to the sky there. And then just bend your knees here and look forward. You can walk or jump your feet up to your hands, forward fold. We're rising into our halfway lift here. Find your version. Really finding your pace here. Find your flow. Take an inhale here. And on your exhale, forward fold. Again, maybe bringing nose toward knees or wrap arms behind hamstrings. Really feel your body softening here. Feel your muscles softening. Feel your mind relaxing. Hand floats down to your mat and then belly to spine. Just roll back up here one vertebra at a time. So that was a full sun salutation in slow motion, and there's always so many different versions that you can do of that. I'll meet you back in Tadasana here. Let's just reconnect with our breath. So your arms and palms are open at either side. You want to send your tailbone down to the ground here. And then mountain, arms float up. So you can even look up to the sky and turn back and face this way. So you're creating a little bit of a back bend. Maybe bring hands to heart center to do that. Listen to your spine there. Yeah, good job. And then straighten back out through your spine. Take an inhale, and on an exhale, roll back down to your forward fold. Now let's toe heel our feet so they come back underneath our hips. You could grab your block here if you want to be up a little bit higher. Weights on the front of your feet. Knees can be soft here. Take a few rounds of breath. Let's stretch here. So rest your left hand on your blocker mat and take an inhale. Then on an exhale, turn to the right, send right arm high to the sky. Let your right arm float down. Ground through your right hand here. Take an inhale. On an exhale, turn to the left, send the left arm high to the sky. Always taking your time here. Exhale, left hand floats down. And just let your hands float back down to your mat. Your feet are underneath your hips here. Just roll up here. Take your time. You should really start to feel your spine waking up there. And let's do cat and cow standing up. So feet are underneath your hips. Knees can be a little bit soft. Arms open to either side. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, bend your knees. Draw your belly toward your spine and imagine you're hugging or holding a ball, like a beach ball. Then inhale, rise up. Nice deep inhale, and then exhale, round through your back. Draw belly to spine. So feel free to keep going there. You could do cat and cow a few more times. This is cat and cow standing up. Go at your own pace. Really listening to your body here. Whenever you like, you can roll back down toward the mat here. Kind of coming into a more of a wider forward fold. Feet are closer to underneath your hips. Let's do gorilla here. So knees are soft, and just lift up the tops of your toes and walk your hands underneath your toes. Really let your head float down here. You're going to feel a nice stretch here in your spine, maybe hamstrings. Now you can hold here in gorilla at any point in time. Lift up the tops of your toes and walk your hands back out. And we'll just roll again up here, one vertebra at a time. Letting your head float up last there. Walk your feet back together, Tadasana, and lengthen through your spine. Reconnect with your breath. You want to make sure that you're closer to the top of your mat here. So much of yoga is breath. So you want to make sure you're breathing. If you do nothing else, just breathe. You don't even have to follow me. You could sit down and, just sit cross-legged or get comfortable and breathe. You could lie down and just focus on some deep belly breaths. Always do your breath, and anything else is kind of a bonus. Let's do a little bit more standing up, then we'll head down to the ground. So again, make sure you're closer to the top of your mat. We're here in Tadasana. Just bring your feet together. Arms and palms kind of float open to either side. Actually, let's try our balance here first. So we're going to do tree. So I'll face toward you. We're here in Tadasana. You just want to shift your weight to one leg and open your other leg to the side and land on the ball of your foot. So you can use your foot as a kickstand here. And feel free to hold just like this. Just finding your balance here. Your eyes can be open or closed. Find your drishti. It's a single point of focus that's going to help you balance. So again, eyes can be open or closed for that. You can even grow your tree, and remember, you can always hang on to something. I have some walls close by. You can have a chair close by. If you feel like you need to be more stable, feel free to just keep your foot on the ground. I'm on the ball of my foot here, so that my foot is a kickstand. Or you could place your foot above your knee or below. Never on your knee. Maybe make some branches, whether they're closer branches, smaller branches. Closer to your midline, or you could make them further away. Finding your balance here. Practicing your focus. And you can feel free to stay there in tree, or start to let your leaves and branches float down. Maybe kick out your leg, and you can reset your spine in any capacity. Just take your time. I'll meet you back in Tadasana, and let's do the other side. So notice how Tadasana looks a lot like tree. You're just shifting your weight to your other leg here. Open your other leg to the side and land on the ball of your foot here. And then use your gaze to find your balance. So you want to find a single point of focus to help you balance. You could also close your eyes and find your third eye and balance that way. Again, feel free to stay just like this, or maybe you place your foot above or below your knee here. You can make some branches, just taking your time. Some days tree feels really easy to me, and other days I find it more challenging. And that's what's so great about anything that we do, where we are engaging our mind and our body. It's a daily practice in some capacity, because our minds and bodies and spirits are always changing and evolving and growing, and we find challenges along the way. So this helps you, yoga helps you kind of recalibrate and also stay in balance. And every day is going to be a little bit different. Feel free to stay there, or you can let your leaves and branches float down, maybe kick out your other leg, and feel free to reset your spine there in any capacity. Anything at all that feels good to you. Just taking your time there. I'll meet you back in Tadasana. Let's just do a few warrior poses, and then we'll head down to the ground. So let's just step our right leg back. This might look backwards to you. And flip open your right foot. Send your back arm to the back and front arm to the front. So you want your front knee over your ankle here. Just imagine reaching through your fingertips. Really imagine that you're kind of sending out energy either direction here through your fingertips. Building strength here too. Really nice, strong warrior two here. We're going to reverse our warrior. So take a nice deep inhale first. So you have breath in your body and you're creating space in your spine. And then on your exhale, start to let your back arm float down and your front arm reaches up over your head and reach toward the back of your body. Again, creating that space in your spine here. Your gaze can be looking over your back shoulder. You could also, to kind of stretch through your neck a little bit, you could look up toward the sky or toward your palm. See what feels good to you. And then I'll meet you back in warrior two. And let's just do an extended side angle here. So take a nice deep inhale. On your exhale, just rest your left arm on your leg and reach your other arm up to the sky. Or again, these arms might be backwards to you. You could also place your upper hand on your hip. See what feels good to you. Feel free to hold there. You might notice how you can really build a lot of core strength. If you want to hold here, you can. If you want to keep it more mellow, just float back into warrior two. And again, let's try a reverse warrior. So take an inhale, and on an exhale, back arm floats down. Reach to the back of your body. Have that space in your spine here. Really grounding through both feet. And again, feel free to hold there. We're kind of creating a flow here where you can float back to warrior two. Let's push our back off of our back foot. Step back foot to meet your front foot. Inhale, mountain. Reach head to the sky, and exhale, forward fold. Taking your time here. Again, feel free to do a modified sun salutation here. Rising into a halfway lift. Or you could go through a full vinyasa, if that's in your practice and you know what I'm referring to there. Exhale, forward fold. So again, feel free to bend your knees here. You could step back into downward dog or plank. If you want to follow me, you could also roll head down to the ground there and do a full vinyasa. Anything at all that feels good to you. Really honoring where your body is in the moment here. I'll meet you back in your forward fold. From your forward fold, just take your time here. Rise into a halfway lift. Take a nice deep inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. You can even soften your knees here, and then just take your time rolling back up. Letting your head float up last there. Maybe do some shoulder shrugs. Again, going either direction or even up and down, just kind of feeling that nice stretch in your shoulders, and then I'll meet you back at the top of your mat. Let's just do the other side. So I think I'm going to face this way. So again, you want to be closer to the top of your mat. Just make sure you're going to do your other leg here. So step your other leg back and flip it open to about 45 degrees. Your front knee is over your ankle here. Reach through your fingertips front to back. Keep your shoulders relaxed here. Just kind of finding your breath and strength here. You're going to take a nice deep inhale, and on an exhale, your back arm floats down and reach toward the back of your body. Finding your gaze here. You can look over your back shoulder. Maybe you're looking up toward your palm or up to the sky. Floating back, passing through warrior two, take an inhale, and on an exhale, extended side angle. So you can rest your front arm on your leg, reach your other arm up to the sky, or maybe you place your hand on your hip. You're going to feel that core engagement here. Feel free to hold here. Since it's more gentle yoga, I'm just going to pass through, but feel free to stay there. Float back into your warrior two, take an inhale, and an exhale, reverse your warrior. I'll meet you back here in warrior two. Now again, from here, you're just going to push your back foot off your mat. Step your back foot to meet your front foot. Mountain, reach high to the sky. And then just bring your palms together and exhale. Let them travel back down toward your heart center. Just kind of unwind our spine here, and then we'll head down to the ground. Let your arms float down. Bring your feet back underneath your hips. And again, sway arms side to side. Maybe notice if this feels a little bit easier versus the first couple times we did this. Checking in. You could tap your lower back. You can see how I'm tapping my lower back here, or you could just sway arms side to side or skip it all together. Settle back into the center. Walk your feet back together. Let's just head down to the ground and we'll stretch a little bit and then do Shavasana. So from Tadasana, feet are together. Lengthen through your spine. Inhale, arms float up. Again, maybe creating that back bend where you're looking up to the sky. You could also bring hands to heart center. You want to lift through your heart here. Feel that stretch in the upper part of your spine. Creating a little bit of a back bend here. And then roll down through your spine, forward fold. Rise into a halfway lift. Weights on the front of your feet here. And take a nice deep inhale here, and on an exhale, forward fold. Again, toe heel feet so they come underneath your hips. Maybe just stretch here. You could even interlace hands and stretch, kind of do a shoulder stretch here. Hamstring stretch. And toe heel your feet so they come back together here. Just bend your knees here. Place your hands on your mat and drop down onto your knees, tabletop. So bring wrists right underneath your shoulders. Knees are underneath your hips. And you want to lengthen through your spine here. Maybe lift your gaze just a little bit. Let's do cat and cow here. This might be the way that you've seen cat and cow the most. Inhale, look up. And exhale, round through your back. Inhale, look up. And exhale, round through your back. Feel free to keep going there. And cat and cow. Or you can settle back into the center. Maybe swing head and hips to one side. And look over your shoulder. So you're getting that nice stretch in your spine. And swing head and hips the other direction. Look over your shoulder. Maybe some more cat and cows. Whatever helps your spine sort of unwind, and anything at all. And we're going to do child's pose here. So from tabletop, take a nice deep inhale, and on an exhale, maybe just walk the soles of your feet together. You can open knees to either side, and you can walk your hands out. Feel free to rest your arms or your head on your block as well, or you can rest on your forearms. You can also sparkle out through your fingertips and place the top of your head on your mat. A lot of times these days, I just keep knees right underneath my hips instead of creating that V shape. Let your head float down here, breathing into your spine. Bring head below your heart. Check in. So finding your version of child's pose, always listen to your body here. On your own time, walk your hands back up. I'll meet you back in tabletop. We're going to do thread the needle here. So again, you want to create a neutral spine. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing a really big spider. I'm going to try to stay focused and not panic. Let's do thread the needle. Just let one arm reach high to the sky, inhale. And on an exhale, turn and weave your arm underneath, in between your other arm and leg. So you can stay up high and just reach it through. Or maybe you drop your head down onto your mat. You can also walk your other hand out so you're getting a nice stretch in your shoulder. Or maybe you even drape your arm across your lower back. See what feels good to you. Remember, you can always stay up high and just reach your arm through. So you could also use your block here if you want to be up a little bit higher, resting your head on your block. Feeling free to hold here in your, this is called a thread the needle. Feel free to hold there. Or you can start to unwind. So you want to walk your hand back in if you were stretching your shoulder there. And then you can unwind, maybe send your arm high to the sky again, or just unwind. I'll meet you back in tabletop. Let's try the other side here. So inhale, your other arm floats up, and then exhale, just weave it through. Maybe you drop down to the mat. Feel free to extend your hand that's resting on your mat. You could walk your hand out, get a stretch in your shoulder, or maybe you drape your arm across your lower back. Take your time here. Feeling free to hold here, or you can start to unwind or walk your hand back in and then unwind all together. I'll meet you back in tabletop. So from here, just step one knee in front, and you can swing your other leg around. Maybe sit cross-legged. easy pose, or just get comfortable. Really grounding through your seat here. Let your shoulders relax. Place your hands where they're comfortable. Reconnect with your breath. Just take a few rounds of breath here. Inhale and exhale. Maybe even say ha. Again, a nice deep inhale. On your exhale, say ha. Maybe breathe with your body and your arms here. Inhale, arms float up, and then exhale, let your arms float down to either side. Inhale, arms float up. And exhale, arms float down. So notice, maybe you can notice how you're building chi in your body, or prana, or life force. Notice. Bring your palms together. Exhale, let them travel down toward your heart center. So you can create a bit of a twist here. Maybe press your palms together and just gently look to one side. Kind of on a little bit of a diagonal. And just pass through, or feel free to hold. Pass through the center, take an inhale. On an exhale, gently twist to the other direction. Unwinding back to the center. Place your hands on your knees. Let's do cat and cow. Inhale, lift through your heart. Exhale, round through your back. Draw belly to spine. Inhale, lift through your heart. So notice how you're really kind of lubricating your spine here. Inhale, look up. Maybe each time going a little bit further. Exhale, round through your back. Maybe add arms in here. Inhale, look up. And exhale, imagine you're holding that beach ball, belly to spine. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round through your back. Just roll back up through your spine here. Let's stretch our hips a little bit. So you could extend your legs out here. I'm going to sit the long way on my mat, so I have my heels on my mat. See what feels good to you. You could just extend your legs out and just stretch here. You could kind of, do staff, or you're doing like a shoulder stretch, or maybe you do a seated forward fold. Always listening to your body here. If you want to stretch your hips a little bit with me, bend one knee and take an inhale, and on an exhale, cross your foot over your knee. Sit up nice and tall, hug your knee. Feel free to stay just like this. Or take an inhale, and on an exhale, start to hug your knee, and maybe walk your other hand, look over your shoulder behind you. So you're easing into this twist. Feel free to hold there. Or you can unwind. Head back to the center and unwind your leg there. Extend that foot out. Bend your other knee, take an inhale. And on an exhale, cross your foot over your knee. Feel free to just stay like this. You can feel a pretty nice stretch in your hip, just like this. Or take an inhale. And on an exhale, hug your knee with your elbow and turn and look over your shoulder. Again, feel free to hold there. You can unwind and then uncross your foot from over your knee. Extend legs out. Let's do a seated forward fold. Arms float up. Inhale and exhale. Just shift forward. You want to lengthen through your spine here. So you can send your gaze over your toes. That creates a bit of a back bend. You can also look down towards your knees. Just make sure you're lengthening through your spine. I'm holding onto my toes here, shifting a little bit from hip to hip too. Getting a little bit of a stretch. You can look side to side. Anything at all that feels good to you. Make sure you're protecting your lower back and spine here. I'll meet you back in the center. Maybe reach fingertips through and keep reaching as you rise up. And then let your arms float down. Yeah, really great job there. Let's bend one knee, extend the other leg out. Just feel a nice stretch here. Again, you can just hold like this, or maybe you hold onto your foot that's extended. Other arm floats up. You can even peek under your arm. Really getting a really nice stretch here in your side body and also your kind of inner leg there, your inner thigh. And then let's switch sides. So bend your other knee, extend other leg out. Feel free to hold just like this. It's a nice kind of stretch. in your inner thigh, or maybe you let your arm float up with your knee is bent. Your other hand is reaching out. You can rest it on your leg, or maybe you're holding onto your foot or even your big toe. And maybe peek under your arm here. Kind of use your breath to soften the edges here. Always honoring your body. Listen to your body there. And again, just come back to the center, sitting in easy pose, cross-legged, or what feels comfortable to you. Before we head into Shavasana, let's just notice and observe. Just check in. You can close your eyes here. Notice how you're feeling. Scan your body here. Observe your breath. Taking a few moments here just to check in. One of the main reasons I kept practicing yoga after I discovered it, it's a long story. I practiced when I was young, and then I got back into it when I was in my early 40s. It's because of the way it makes me feel. It really helps me feel more grounded and centered and present and calm and hopeful and strong. So many things. It's a phenomenal practice, and it can help you in so many ways. It can really help to settle your mind, which is really the goal. So just observe and see how you're feeling. Let's head down to the ground a little bit. I'll meet you at the top of your mat. First, let's stretch a little bit more through our hips here. So you can bend your knees and maybe line up your feet with your hips. And hands are facing towards your feet. Maybe windshield wiper knees here. So just feel a nice gentle stretch in your hips. Take your time here. If that doesn't feel good to you, you could, just stay in the center and stretch. You could also come to what's called butterfly, where you bring the soles of your feet together and you could feel a nice stretch. Again, hands are kind of facing toward the front of your body. You can feel a stretch in your shoulders. Or maybe you're windshield wiping. Sometimes I find myself making up words. That's okay. I'll meet you back in the center. Let's try one more seated forward fold just to kind of stretch before we head down to the ground. You want to extend legs out. Inhale, arms float up. And exhale, shift forward. Finding your version of a seated forward fold here. Lengthen through your spine. Maybe notice. Observe as you melt into this pose. Let your breath let go here. Release down towards your mat. On your own time, just roll back up through your spine one vertebra at a time. And I'll meet you toward the top of your mat. Just bring your feet together, sit up nice and tall in your sits bones. You can hold your hands across your shins. You want to feel a nice subtle core engagement here. We're here in kind of a mellow boat. So if you want to build more core strength, maybe rock back. You could flex your feet. You still want to draw your belly toward your spine here. You can even reach your arms out. Feel free to extend arms and or legs out, always drawing belly to spine, or maybe you're just staying more in basic boat. Taking your time there. I'll meet you back in basic boat. Always take your time. Feel free to build core strength there if you want to stay longer. You can reach arms high to the sky, inhale, and then on an exhale, wrap hands underneath your hamstrings here. Feel that nice stretch and core engagement here, and then start to drop your chin down toward your chest. And create a C curve here. Roll down through your spine. You can drop down onto your elbows. And then let's do butterfly of the ground. Bring the soles of your feet together here and just let your knees fall open to either side. This is Supta Baddha Konasana. This is a really nice restorative pose. If you're feeling stressed out, if you can do nothing else, I recommend either this or Shavasana. Just lie down on your bed or on the ground, bring the soles of your feet together, just let your knees fall open to either side. You could even put blocks or pillows underneath both knees and just stretch. You can even place your arms above your head and stretch your arms a little bit. Getting a stretch in your upper body and spine, or maybe you just rest your hands on legs, or you could place one hand on your heart One hand on your belly. And just check in and relax. Maybe notice your breath unwinding here. Now in a restorative yoga class, we would stay here maybe even longer, though we would use props, so we're propped a little bit, like blocks underneath knees. If your arms are above your head here, let them float down to either side, and maybe just stack one knee on top of the other. You can look up to the sky, or maybe you extend your opposite arm out and even look over your shoulder. Creating a nice gentle twist here, feel that release and energy. And then let your knees float up to the center, and then just stack your other knee on top here. Maybe extend your opposite arm out. You could look over your shoulder. I'll meet you back in the center. Let's extend legs up to the sky. Flex your feet, reach hands up to the sky, or flex your hands too. Knees are soft here. Creating a nice gentle inversion here. And now bend both knees, hug your knees. You could even bring nose to knees here. Or just keep your head resting on the ground. Again, let arms float up into either side here. Now feel free to stay in the center or take an inhale, and on an exhale again, stack one knee on top of the other. Coming back into a modified supine twist here, maybe traveling a little bit further into it. Try to keep your upper back on the mat here. You can look up to the sky, or maybe you look over your opposite shoulder. Let your knees float up to the center, take an inhale, and on an exhale, drop them both to the other side. Stack one knee on top of the other. Maybe looking over your opposite arm and shoulder. Meet you back in the center. Again, extend legs and feet up to the sky. Flex your hands and feet. Knees are soft. Let's do happy baby. So bend your knees. You want your knees outside of your hips here. Maybe hold on to your big toes. You can use your toes, your big toes, as anchors. Maybe even rock side to side. This feels really good on kind of like lower back and hips. And you can also just stay in the center. If you want a little bit of a deeper stretch, maybe you hold on to the outer edges of your feet and sway side to side, or you can hold in the center. You can also hold on to your ankles. Getting a nice stretch there. Happy baby. I'll meet you back in the center. Just bend your knees here. And keep your knees bent. Hold on to one knee. Extend your other leg out. Let's extend leg up here. Getting a nice hamstring stretch. Again, if you wanted to engage your core here, you could bring nose to knee, or even raise your other leg off the ground a few inches. Building core strength. The more you build your core strength, I feel like it gives you more energy and it helps you with balance. It's so important to have that core strength, kind of like the whole kind of center part of your body. You can lower your extended leg back down to the ground, lower your head back down to the ground, feel that nice stretch. Maybe open your leg to the side, find your hip socket. You could also bend your knee here. Definitely listen to your hips here. You could point and flex your foot. Maybe draw your leg across your body. I can't go very far, I'm hitting the wall here. You can also bend your knee there and hold across the top of your knee, doing a full supine twist. You're extending opposite arm out, gazing over your shoulder. Really feel your body starting to deeply relax here. And since we warmed up, now it's easier to stretch. Feel free to do anything else that feels good to you. I'll meet you back with knees bent. Now extend your other leg out and holding onto your knee here. Feel that nice stretch in your hip flexor. You can extend your leg up, hamstring stretch. Just really taking your time here. Do what feels good to you. You could bring nose to knee or raise your other leg off the ground a few inches. Really strengthen your core here, engaging those deeper abdominals. Lower your leg down here. Maybe open leg to the side. Again, I'm going to hit the wall, I think. Oh my goodness. Hang on a second. I got to scoot over. I don't recommend scooting on the mat like that on the ground because you might hurt your neck, but I'm just trying to... Anyway, you might be able to go further than me. You could also bend your knee, find your hip socket, or keep your legs straight. You can point and flex your foot. I'm still seeing that spider on the wall. Oh boy. Now, maybe draw your leg across your body. If you keep it straight, you can get your IT band. Again, you can also bend your knee and hold across the top of your knee, looking up to the sky, or maybe take an inhale. This is a huge spider. Oh my gosh. On an exhale, turn. I may have to go grab it. On an exhale, look over your shoulder. Holy cow. Oh my gosh. Okay. Come back to the center, give your knees a hug. I'm going to put you into Shavasana and I'm going to catch this spider. Take an inhale, on an exhale, extend legs out, or you could come back into butterfly. Oh my gosh. Can you see this spider? Okay, so you can start to head into Shavasana. Sometimes I like to pass back through butterfly, bring the soles of your feet together, let knees fall open to either side. You could stay like this, or maybe you extend your legs out and let your feet fall open. I'm going to try to remain calm. Whew. Close your eyes. Oh my gosh. And breathe. You just want to imagine that you're completely letting go here. Let all muscles relax. Let your mind relax. Imagine you're floating, letting all your worries wash away. You're also integrating your practice here. Now feel free to stay here in Shavasana as long as you like. Take your time. My plan was to have us stay here a little bit longer. I think due to the circumstances, I'm going to have us come out of this a little bit sooner here. You can flex your hands and feet, maybe draw knees back and towards your chest, maybe give yourself a hug. Inhale and exhale, drop knees to one side, come into a fetal pose. You can rest your head on your arm here. Really taking your time, transitioning back into a more wakeful state. Walk your hands up. Feel free to do any final stretches, anything at all that helps you kind of get that final excess energy out, and then you can settle in on your mat, get comfortable. Maybe sit cross-legged. Find your breath here. Starting to find that focal point, just like you did in tree. Find a single point of focus. Letting your mind feel settled here. Finding that peace of mind that comes with practicing. Feel free to hold here and maybe just focus, or maybe heading into meditation. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope you have a really great rest of your day wherever you are in this beautiful world of ours. Namaste.